Hi everybody, Reverend Dr. right here. This is now my second attempt to make this video. Before I get to what I want to talk about, I just want to let everybody know that yes, I haven't done a video in a while. It was because of my problems uploading my videos. Right now, as I'm sure you can tell by the difference in the lighting, that I'm using a different device. I'm going to test out the upload quality, make sure that if the video can upload in a timely fashion. If it can, then I'll return to my usual schedule with my videos. And I also started a new internet radio program called Red's Revelations that has no connection whatsoever to any political organization, any spiritual, religious organization, or any other organization. It is simply myself, any members of the Red Revelations team, and any guests I have on the show, talking about what's going on today in current events, from a political standpoint, spiritual standpoint, it doesn't matter, anything goes. If you want to join the team, or if you have any topic suggestions, or if you'd like to listen to the show, you can email me or email the show at redsrevelations@gmail.com, and you can check it out at redsrevelations.wordpress.com. Now, to get into what I want to talk about. A lot of people call people like myself crazy for what we say. I just want you all to know that you're wrong. Okay, I'm not exactly crazy. A year and a half ago, I did 3 videos. 2 videos prior to the signing of, and 1 post signing of the NDAA bill. I warned everybody what was going to happen following the NDAA bill. I told everybody what was in the NDAA bill, and that according to the NDAA bill, it classifies white people, Christians, pastors, war veterans, homeschoolers, gun owners, Tea Partiers, Oath Keepers, and a whole other laundry list of people as potential domestic terrorists in the eyes of the government. And I told you what would be happening, due to this particular event going into effect. And as a commenter posted on one of the videos I did about the NDAA, no, it did not happen. The event following did not happen when I said it would. But because I made a logical, reasonable guess based on the speed of the events up to that point, does not mean that myself or anybody else that has been trying to warn the population about what's going on, it doesn't mean that we're wrong about it. It just means that we were off in our timing. Because I'm not the only one that has been talking about this. I'm not the only one that made a prediction of when the next follow-up would happen. And I'm not the only one that was off with my timing. Other people, their time frame came up before mine. Other people came up after mine. We were wrong about the time of the following event, but we were not wrong about the event. If you step outside the box a little bit and you look at everything from behind the scenes, you will realize the seriousness of the situation. I understand everybody's going to say, well, you bring up the NDA again, well, that's nothing new. All it's doing is this, that, other thing. And I've agreed to a certain extent, and I've also told you where you are wrong on that theory. But if you look at the fact that, okay, we have the Patriot Act, we have the NDAA, we have a whole bunch of other executive orders, where the government, for one, the American citizens are now considered possible domestic terrorists. The government at peacetime or wartime has control over all of our resources, farmlands, food, water, supplies, et cetera, and so on. And the DHS is training their people to target anybody, pregnant women, little children, gun owners, the whole nine, just to shoot. The DHS and local law enforcement agencies now have in their possession or on order a total of, I believe it's up to 7 billion rounds of ammunition combined. That is quite a lot of bullets. I did the math. I can't remember what it came out to. Was that roughly 21 rounds of ammunition per American man, woman, and child, that's a lot of ammunition. What exactly are they expecting? Especially considering everything they ordered is hollow point and buckshot. They're obviously not going out just for target practice. They're obviously preparing for something, but I'm not going to get into that, at least not just yet. So you take all this into account, and it shouldn't be that hard to figure out what's going on. For everybody that suggested that myself and others like me, that are more well known than myself, are crazy for what we were saying about the NDA bill and what's going to happen next, and about all these different conspiracy theories and whatnot. Well, it's not a conspiracy or a conspiracy theory when they really are trying to kill you. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, let's think about this for a second. For the first time in 200 years, our government has full control during peacetime of all of our resources, every last bit of it. They're trying to control what we eat. They're trying to control what we say, what we do, where we go. They're trying to control every aspect of our lives. I've also been trying to warn everybody, as well as many, many others. I'm not the only one fighting this fight. That the Constitution is no longer in effect. We are no longer a free people. I don't care what anybody wants to say. We are no longer free people. We are living in an occupied America. Yes, I will say that technically our government is still our government. We weren't necessarily invaded openly by an outside force, but whether we're invaded by an outside force or our government goes rogue, technically we're still being invaded, no matter how you want to look at it, which technically still means we're an occupied nation. I forget who said it, goddamn. But we are to be loyal to our country all the time, to our government only when they deserve it. That quote is roughly 200 years old, and it still holds true today, and it will hold true for the rest of time. You can take that to mean whatever it is you want, but when I've stated in previous videos that I believe in our Constitution, I believe in freedom, and I will go down fighting for it, I meant every word that I said. Nothing, and I mean nothing, will happen that will lead me otherwise. I will not silence myself, as I expect none of you to silence yourselves. Everybody that is out there speaking up, I expect you all to keep on doing so, no matter how bad things get. And everybody that is beginning to wake up finally, I expect you all to continue passing on the word and to continue waking up other individuals, no matter how bad things get. Because as individuals like myself and like all of you, that is going to put the pressure, continue putting the pressure on the elite, and it will be because of individuals such as myself and like all of you that will once again free America, hopefully peacefully, but the government is trying to prepare for otherwise. What do I mean by that? Well, let's think for a second. I just got done telling you that the NDA bill, that I spoke about that and other things. As you look at that, from other angles, by itself might be a big deal, but looking at everything else that's been going on, it is a big deal. It's all, pieces to the puzzle. I also said that I was wrong on my timing of the next event, but I'm not wrong about what I said. Well, just a recap of what I said that people were going to start being detained without warrants, without due process, that they were going to start coming down on organizations. Okay, well, what happened? Why was I wrong on my timing but not in what I said? Why were others like myself that may or may not be more well-known than myself wrong in their timing but right in what they said? Well, let's think for a second. We have the IRS scandal, which 48 hours after the union chief of the IRS met with Obama, they started targeting the Tea Party organizations and other right-wing, conservative, and Christian organizations. We also have the fact that whether or not, regardless of what you believe about Adam Kokesh and his organization, he was detained without a warrant at a smokeout rally because he wants to lead his organization in a armed march on Washington, D.C. I don't care what you believe about Kokesh. I believe about Kokesh is completely irrelevant. The fact of the matter is, what was done was done. And he's being held, warrantless without due process. Then we have the Boston bombing, and you have literally for manhunt for 2 people, an alleged manhunt for 2 people. Martial law was declared, and roughly 9,000 law enforcement and military personnel were deployed on the city of Boston. And businesses were shut down. They were ordered to remain in their homes. As they did a street-by-street, house-by-house search of these homes, people were ordered outside. They ransacked the homes, et cetera, and so on. I'm sure everybody is well aware of what took place in Boston. Then last week, the Department of Defense gave themselves, ergo the military, authority to patrol our streets. Yes, the document says in the authority for civil disturbances where law enforcement cannot handle it or where they are needed, but the president is nowhere to be had for permission to move, and the local law enforcement or local authorities cannot be gotten a hold of for permission. They can just go ahead and assemble. Okay, fine. They use civil disturbances, but you gotta read between the lines. They gave themselves authority, not just above and beyond local authorities, but above and beyond the president, above and beyond the Constitution. What they successfully did by giving themselves complete control to march on our streets during peacetime and wartime, not just wartime, but peacetime as well, to police our streets, they more or less completely nullified the Posse Comitatus Act. It is null and void. Do you have any idea what that means? Let me put it in layman's terms for all of you individuals out there that have no understanding of what exactly this means. The federal government, under the Constitution, has no jurisdiction whatsoever over our resources, over our transportation, over anything on our front, unless we are at war. The military has no authority whatsoever to put their boots on the ground on American soil unless we are at war, if we are being invaded. The only time that, other than wartime, if our country is being invaded, that the military is allowed to put boots on the ground, and the only time the federal government is allowed, under the Constitution, to control all of our resources, okay, is under martial law. Under martial law, for a certain amount of time, the United States Constitution is suspended. Now, before the Department of Defense did this, we have the executive order by Obama that gives him full-on resources, control of the resources during wartime as well as peacetime. That right there goes in direct contradiction to the United States Constitution, on top of every other thing that he's done against the National Constitution. Just staying on what I'm trying to say here. That right there goes in direct opposition to the U.S. Constitution. Okay, he had no constitutional authority. He had no legal authority to sign that executive order into effect for any reason whatsoever. It doesn't matter what kind of language he used to pass it or how he was trying to suggest that's okay to the people. Well, that he can do it. He doesn't mean anything by it. It doesn't matter. It's completely irrelevant. It's all smokescreen. It's illegal. It's unconstitutional. Okay? The Department of Defense, by giving themselves full-on authority to police our local cities and to involve themselves, whether or not local authorities or the President of the United States warrants it, is completely unconstitutional. They just nullified the Posse Comitatus Act. They completely, nullified any, constitutional law that they're supposed to be following. And they pretty much just said, look, now we're in charge. Now you take those two things alone, by themselves, without even looking at anything else that our government has done. Bush administration, Obama administration, or anybody before them, without looking at any of those other executive orders or anything else that has been done. Just like those two primary things right there. We are no longer a constitutional republic. We are unofficially under martial law. If you take those two things, those two acts, one by the Obama administration and one by the military, and you add on to that we literally have roughly 21 rounds of hollow point and buckshot per every man, woman, and child in this country being dished out between the DHS and local law enforcement agencies. The fact that the DHS and local law enforcement agencies are literally building up armored vehicles to patrol the streets. The fact that for quite a while now, local law enforcement, more well known with their SWAT teams, are walking around. There's no flag, there's no rank and name. It's just straight black. And more recently, I've been seeing some camouflage being used. Uniforms or BDUs with their weapons. So you have no idea if these people are actually American soldiers or American law enforcement. You have no idea what agency they belong to. You have no clue what rank they are. You have no clue who they are, which gives us, no idea. Not only do we not know who they are or what agency is demanding that they, enter our homes and take our freedoms. They're now putting up a barrier between themselves so that there is no legal actions we can take against the actions that they're putting on to us. Because we don't know what agency they belong to. We don't know who they are. We don't know what rank they are. And, ergo, we have no idea who the hell gave them the jurisdiction or the authority to do so. Now, you take all this into account, and you add on to that the fact that under the NDAA bill, here we go again with the NDAA bill, all of us are potential domestic terrorists in the government's eyes. Do I need to go through the list again? Are you a Christian? Are you white? Are you a gun owner? Are you a homeschooler? Are you a pastor? Are you a war veteran? Do you belong to the Tea Party? Do you belong to the Oath Keepers? And the list goes on. In the eyes of the government, you are a domestic terrorist. You are a suspect of committing a possible terrorist act here in the States on American soil. If you believe in the United States Constitution, you are considered a threat to national security. So, looking at what the NDAA bill states, and looking at what I said a year and a half ago, and looking at the events that just took place within the past month or so that's coming to light, was I wrong in what I said? Was anybody else that put this message out there wrong in what they said? No, and no. So we were wrong in our timeline when we first saw what would be happening. We were not wrong in our predictions of what would happen. The events did not happen when we said they would happen. You're right. But the events did happen. It did finally come to light that 48 hours after the IRS union chief met with Obama, they targeted Tea Party organizations and pretty much any other conservative Christian organization that has opposition to Obama and his current administration. So we weren't wrong about that. The Department of Defense, as of last week, gave full-on authority to the military to go where they want, when they want, on American soil, anytime they want, peacetime or not. So we weren't wrong about that. Citizens are being arrested without warrant for no other reason other than the fact that the government has no liking whatsoever of what it is that they are either A, doing or B, planning to do. So we really weren't wrong about that. We said that the law enforcement and or the military was going to start entering homes without warrant just because they suspect you of something, and possibly just detain you without warrant, without due process. Well, that's been happening in California, Arizona, Texas, New York, Delaware, Connecticut. Where else did it happen? So, no, we weren't wrong about that either. We've also suggested that that was the beginning of the official murder of the United States Constitution. Well, considering all the events that have been taking place for the past 2 years that are now finally coming to light, and considering the events that are now taking place within the past week or so, well, we weren't wrong about that either. So basically, we were not wrong about what we said. I was not wrong about what I said. You can either believe it or not. You can keep your eyes closed to it and your ears closed to it or not. The fact of the matter is, it happened. It's happening. We are being taken over from within. Or I should say we have been taken over from within. From this point on, I'm almost out of time on this video here. From this point forward, what I'm going to say is anybody that is speaking up and speaking out, I suggest you continue to do so. Because all that's what's happening now is, well, we were right. It's going to get ugly. We are officially, or I should say unofficially, under a fascist, tyrannical dictatorship. And right now we are watching a power struggle between Obama and the military. It should be really interesting to see who wins power over us, the military or Obama. Either way, I don't think it's going to be a very pretty picture for anybody, you know, that's in the civilian rank and file. Because either way, we're looking at, you know, a tyrannical dictatorship. Under Obama, we're looking at Marxism. Under the Department of Defense, we're looking at fascism. Either way, it ain't pretty cross. If we shut up, we can pretty much assume that we're going to be taken out right then and there. We're going to be arrested because nobody's watching us. If we keep on speaking up, I can pretty much be rest assured that we are probably on some kind of list to some degree. It's only a matter of time before we're probably going to be spoken to. But the more we speak up and speak out, and the more we encourage everybody to do the same, the longer that will happen. The longer that will take to happen. That goes without saying. History proves that fact. People want to suggest, you know, that we're working with other individuals. Well, so be it. It's going to happen. But what I got to those individuals is, okay, well, you claim you see what's going on. You claim that you understand what's going on and how serious things are going to get, but you believe that the best course of action to take is to keep your goddamn mouth shut and do absolutely nothing until it hits the fan. Well, all you're doing is ensuring yourself a place in the female concentration camp because, you know, you don't think that the elite know who you are, what you're doing. Please, give me a break. They know who we all are. They're keeping track of all of us. They're tracking the cell phones. They're tracking our Facebook, Twitter, Google accounts. To think that they don't know about you is completely freaking ridiculous. the fact that you don't want to do anything, the fact that you're going to tell people like myself that talking about it is useless, trying to get rallies together is useless, etc., and so on. All you're doing is proving yourself to be a bunch of freaking cowards. I suggest if you want to call yourself an American patriot, you get off your freaking asses and actually do something. And yes, I'm a pastor, and I just said that. You know, it's not a curse, okay? I'm telling you all, as an American patriot and as a Christian pastor, to get up off your asses and do something. You see America's in danger. You realize the seriousness of everything that's going on right now. You believe in that flag that's on my wall behind me. Then prove it. The window is closing to secure our freedom. If that window closes and you continue sitting on your ass doing nothing, how are you going to explain to your children why they're sitting in a concentration camp? Why they lost all your freedoms? Why they believe that we were living in a free country and now all of a sudden they're nothing more than a piece of livestock, a piece of cattle to the freaking ruling elite? How will you explain that to your children? I don't want you to answer me. I want you to answer yourself. And then when you answer yourself, I would like for you to realize your answer and actually, do something. You might not believe that speaking out or me making my videos with my near 43 subscribers and next to no views is accomplishing much of anything. But let me tell you something. 43 subscribers and on average 30 views of my videos, some less, some more than that. Those average 30 individuals, okay, are possibly now taking what I'm telling them, what they're hearing me say, and they're going out and possibly telling that to their family and friends. So yes, I am accomplishing something. This isn't about, this isn't a popularity contest. This isn't about which one of us can be the biggest and the baddest with the most followers. This is about the message of freedom. This is about saving our freaking country. When are people going to realize that? I'm not in this for the popularity. I'm in this for the message. I'm in this for our country. I'm in this for freedom. Then there's the fact that I have, 504 something followers on my Twitter account. I have roughly 5, maybe 6 people that retweet most of the important stuff that I tweet or retweet. So am I making a large impact? No, not really, admittedly so. But I am making an impact. So if you go out there, if you start talking about this stuff, and if just one person pays attention, and just one person goes out there and repeats everything you're saying, then as little of an impact you're making, you are still making an impact. And you have no idea what person down the line of contacts that one person that is listening to you has won't spread off into the thousands, or maybe hundreds of thousands. So you have no idea how large an impact in all reality you're making. So I suggest to get over your damn self, get off your fucking ass, and do something. Stop worrying about the goddamn popularity contest everybody in America is all of a sudden worried about. This isn't about popularity. Don't screw the goddamn younger population. Goddamn, well, I have more likes than you. I have more followers than you. Since when the hell is it talking about a freaking popularity contest? You want popularity? Go join the goddamn liberal freaking goddamn social elite. That's all you're doing by sitting there and doing nothing. On that note, before I run out of freaking time, get out there. I was right, you were wrong. That's the bottom line. Get out there, get off your ass and do something, or forever hold your peace. Either way, when you're behind that fence, that FEMA concentration camp, don't tell me that I didn't tell you so. I'm going to be the one, and people like me are going to be the ones freeing your stupid asses from those concentration camps. Mark my words. You don't want that to happen. You don't want to be in a concentration camp by our own government. Then I suggest you actually look into what I'm saying, find the evidence that what I'm saying is true for yourself, and when you discover it's true, put the information out there. Speak up. Try to hold on and defend and bring back this country all of our freedoms before it's entirely lost. You've been warned. God bless.